Hey, how's it going? My check-in for today with progress towards speaking goals. And 1st of May, and we are into a month where I've got a couple of things coming up that need a little bit of preparation. Actually, it's not just this month; it's next month as well. I've got a month, just over a month, to this presentation I'm giving in Amsterdam. My first proper international, if you don't count Ireland, but first proper international speech presentation, and it's a 30-minute keynote at the Women in Payments Network conference. I'll be speaking about my usual high-performance well-being topics, but I've got a fairly clear idea as to what I'm going to talk about there, but it does need to have that prep work done, a bit like what I did leading up to the Experian gig. I was thinking about that today a little bit. I haven't actually started doing any of the prep planning work, but I gave a webinar last night for an organization, a kind of a company community called Soberistas. They support people who have stopped drinking, and basically it's all very kind of positive. And I've done some work with them before over the last few years. And I gave this webinar last night, and I very loosely prepared it, but it was really easy to prepare it because I'd been asked in advance, obviously, to give a headline and some bullet points as to what we're going to cover. So I thought about the framework for this well in advance, and I had these sort of 3 bullet points, and it was about 21 days isn't enough to create a habit. You need attention, you need intention as well. It was about how to avoid the all or nothing cycle, boom and bust, and on the wagon, off the wagon, and also how to locate and automate the 20% of habits, the quick wins that will give you 80% of your potential results. So I had these 3 things that I wanted to talk about in the presentation, and I had some vague sort of bullet points that I'd jotted down beforehand as well. And when I launched into it, it just flowed really well. And it kind of made me realize how important it is to have this base structure right from the off. And I think I've even done that already for this Amsterdam presentation, where they asked me a while ago if I could give them a headline and a kind of a brief outline of the content. And so I've already sent that over to them. So that makes it considerably easier for me to actually then create the content and put the flesh on the bones of it, because I've got the skeleton is already there. And I've fallen into that trap before where I haven't had that skeleton. I've been thinking, I'm going to write this, I want to talk about that, but I haven't actually had that structure. So the structure is super important for me because it helps keep me on track, and it helps sort of signpost the presentation as well. And it always ends up being like that, but I never kind of think, oh, that's how I've got to start things. That is my kind of big lesson for today, a real obvious one, but that's what I've got to start with for every single presentation, webinar, course, whatever I teach and speak about. That's got to be the essence of it, or the start point of it. So that was that. And a couple of other things I've got coming up this month. I'm doing another presentation workshop. Well, actually, it's not a workshop. It's a sort of a lunch and learn presentation for the law firm that I've been doing some work with over the last few months. And there's going to be 3 of those, all possibly on the same day. So kind of 1 shift to the next site, 2, then shift to the next site, then 3, because there's 3 sites in the local area. And also some comparing, some emceeing at a charity event, which I'm really going to prepare massively for, but I do have to get my sort of head in the game with that one as well, and that's sort of middle of May and towards the end of May. So a few things coming up that I've got to make sure I am prepared for, and it doesn't sneak up on me. And one other thing I've just taken on today, or have had confirmed today, is another talk at Endure 24. I did do a talk there last year, and it was a real sort of relaxed fireside chat style talk where I had 3 things I was going to talk about, and I just spent about 45 minutes going through. It's the right kind of mindset for running a 24-hour ultramarathon as a solo or as a team member. And I'll probably do something very similar again this year. But that sort of made me think about that style of presenting and how I love that. And I think it's sort of my sweet spot really, as well as my real strength, is that relaxed fireside chat type conversational presentation, which is what I noticed when I was doing the Toastmasters competition a few weeks ago, how different that was, where it's very precise, very measured, very rehearsed, and very practiced and very scripted, very different to the fireside chat. So I think maybe the skill there would be to script something so it sounds like it's fireside chat, if that's even possible to do, but who knows. Anyway, point is, I've got a few things coming up that I need to get prepped for, and obviously keep everything else ticking over as well with the coaching and the online program, which is going really well so far. Really pleased with the launch of the new Boost 28-day program, which started a couple of days ago. We've got good numbers into that as well, and a good engaged group as well. So we've got some banter, some questions, and back and forth going on in the Facebook group. And really looking forward to seeing what sort of an impact that program can have on people as well, because that's what I do, right? That's what I do. That's what I want to be doing. I want to be having an impact. I want to be helping people. I want to be taking people from a place where they are right now, helping them feel inspired enough to make changes and take action so that they can thrive more in their lives. That's my purpose. And whether I do that through speaking, through coaching, through training programs, or just my general writing and videos or whatever else, that's what I feel drawn towards doing. So pleased that that's going so well at the moment, and hopefully I can keep that momentum going for the full 28 days. But anyway, there's my check-in for the day. In a nutshell, I've got some work to do. I've got things coming up that I need to prep for. I also need to make sure I don't take my eye off the ball with pushing for more work, reaching out, trying to find where those opportunities are. I've had more rejections than I've had successes, and I know that, and that's okay. I'm not happy with that, but I kind of accept that that's a part of the course. I just got to make sure that I keep pushing and pushing and pushing, rather than think, well, I've got a few things coming up, and then leaving it at that, and all of a sudden I've got nothing else in the offing. So focus on doing a really good job with the things I've got on the plate at the moment, and also keep on driving to build the business. In the meantime, working on the craft of speaking, which is always an ever-present for me. Anyway, there's my check-in for the day. Like the video if you indeed do, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and check back in again tomorrow for another daily update. Bye for now.